The most powerful quote I have ever heard, it was by Mr. Rumi. He said, when I was clever, I wanted to change the whole world. And today I'm wise, hence I'm changing myself. This is what we should believe as soon as possible when we grow up. Allow me to make a picture of my routine day at home. Mahir, phone band karo, switch off the phone. Mahir, YouTube band karo, switch off the YouTube. Mahir, kitab padho, pick up a book. Mahir, behave properly, ढंग से behave करो. This is what I keep on telling my son. And in response, he says me only one thing. Papa, क्या दिक्कत है? Papa, what is the problem? We get manual with everything. When we buy a TV, when we buy a washing machine, when we buy a home theater. But we get no manual how to operate a kid. We get no manual. We always tell children that do this, but are we showing them how to do this? Are we leading by example? We ask kid to switch off the phone. Perhaps it's our job to keep our phone down and take a book in our hand. And when we say behave properly to a kid, rather it is a chance for us to perhaps see our behavior, that how do we behave with others before him. It's a great saying that children are the great imitators. So give them something great to imitate. And with this, allow me to take you flashback in my childhood. In my childhood, I was an outstanding student. I was simply an outstanding student because मैं हमेशा क्लास के बाहर ही खड़ा मिलता था. Teacher used to ask, Rajneesh, present ma'am, but from outside. I was so poor with my studies that even the school was fearful that I'm gonna spoil the result of the school. And there were two subjects wherein I was just bad. One was mathematics and another was so-called English. I never understood that we think, behave and speak in Hindi, then what is the need to speak in English or to write in English? I still recall that there was an exam wherein I had to write about Akbar, and it took me hard to even think how should I start. I could not even start it. And then eventually what happened, which was scheduled. The trin, bell rang and time got up. And then one day I got a magic formula from one of my friend. Of course, friends are there to help you, right? So he was my real friend. He gave me formula. And I still recall in that examination, for the first time, I bought an additional sheet. And I still recall we take a thread to tie it all together and submit. People were watching how come so-called Rajneesh, outstanding student, he is taking another sheet to fill. But again, what happened? When the result came, I was again failed in that examination. And you know why I bought another sheet? Because I was told that write on every paper, Jai Mata Di, Jai Shera Wali, Bam Bam Bole and what not. I was really surprised that whether he was my friend or true friend. So nothing worked at all. In fact, on top of that, I had huge pressure. One was from the teachers and one was certainly from the parents. And of course, a quote which always there, Sharma ji ka beta. I really do not know how come Sharma ji ka beta always come in my life. So I really do not know. I did not know what to do, how to come out, whether this is what the brain I'm born with or I can do something. And eventually I found two. Two things which were really hampering my life. So before I come with those things, look at this watch. It only tell time. We are slave to the time. All the education institutes, they are slave only to finish the curriculum. First semester gonna finish, second gonna come, third gonna come, fourth gonna come. So finish the curriculum without thinking, are the students actually absorbing the knowledge or not? We are in a rut to finish the syllabus and wondering why student is not performing. It is almost like serving somebody 5-course meal forcefully and thinking why you are not enjoying the food. And with this, let me make you imagine one classroom. A professor comes in and he starts to say 2 into 2, 8 by 2 into 2 pi, divide by 8 into 8 square, divide by what? Half of the students, they fell sleep, and other was there, अबे साले time कितना हुआ है, break कब होगा, when the break gonna happen? And let me twist the another classroom, wherein a professor enters and she says there is no notebook day today. People were happy. What happened? What new happened in the classroom today? And she asked, what is something you observed while coming to college today? And one of the students fearfully raised the hand and he says, ma'am, I got late to college because there was a lot of traffic. Instead of scolding the student, teacher says, oh wow, so what do you think? To the student, she asked, what is the problem? Why we have so much traffic on the road? And all those sleepy students, they become energetic. They start to contribute. Ma'am, there is a lot of cows on the road which make road to narrow down. There are a lot of parking issues. There are a lot of issues with the traffic signal. And then the teacher asks, then what can be done? And they start offering a solution, not knowing that they're indulging in problem solving. They're indulging in civic awareness. And with this, teacher says very happily, wow, wow, I really want you to come with more solutions. But no college is not a solution. So teacher made everyone to be a part of discussion. And what happened in our life? That we take learning only by reciting formulas. Only by reciting formulas. Empowerment and education is not limited to the four walls. It happens everywhere. No matter it's a classroom, it's an office, or at your home. You are learning as well as teaching. You are always learning. We always say empower somebody and give them power. Empowerment is not about giving power to them. It is more about making them realize the power which they have within themselves. There is a saying that give a fish to a man and you feed him for a day. And teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. And same thing happens with student. You encourage them to ask questions and you make them lifelong learner. and something happened. The same professor, he was no other than in my school, Mr. Mam Pillai. He was someone who changed the way subject was taught in the classroom. And that's where I realized that studies are not as boring as they are taught to us. And now let me go to the second reason why I was an outstanding student. Before that, let me share you a story. Once upon a time, these 4 words are sufficient to capture anyone's attention. Once upon a time, there were 2 friends. One was 7 years and another was 11 years. The 7 years child was probably around 30 kgs of weight and the elder one was 45 kgs of weight. And they used to play whole day and did not study at all. They were so mischievous, even the parents stopped saying anything to them. And one day, while playing, they went to the outskirts of the village without realizing where they are. And they were so indulged in their play that the elder friend, he slipped into a well. And he was just shouting, "Help, help, and help." And this poor little boy, he was just crying. He did not know what to do and there was nobody around. वहां पे कोई नहीं था, there was nobody around. He was just shouting, both the kids, they were crying badly, but there was nobody who could help them out. And after a while, after much struggle, this poor little boy, he found a rope at a distance and he quickly grabbed the rope. And he put that rope down in the well to lift his friend up. But he could not do that. The friend was heavier than his weight. He tried, but he failed. He again tried to lift his friend up, again failed. And after multiple failure, he again tried, and this time he put all his muscles, all his power in his hand, and this time he gradually was able to lift his friend out from the well. And when the friend came out, they both cried. They both cried, hugging each other, because they were not sure whether they would ever be able to see each other. They both cried terribly. And then they went back to village and they narrated the entire incidents to the villagers. And villagers were laughing. They were laughing on these kids. They thought, how is it possible somebody, such a small kid, he can lift somebody who's almost double of his weight. They were all laughing. No one trusted them. And in village, there was a person called Rahim Chacha. All the villagers used to listen to him because he was the most wisest man around. And all the villagers, along with kids, they went to Rahim Chacha. And these kids narrated the entire story to Rahim Chacha. And he said, "ये बच्चे सही तो बोल रहे हैं." These kids are saying true. All the villagers were like, "What, Rahim Chacha, you are saying all this thing?" He said, "Yes." ये बच्चा ये इसलिए कर पाया बिकॉज वहां पे कोई नहीं था ये कहने वाला कि तू ये नहीं कर सकता. वहां पे कोई नहीं था कहने वाला तू ये नहीं कर सकता. और इसे खुद भी नहीं पता था कि मैं ये नहीं कर सकता. And that is what happened. That was happening with me, that I was told, I was categorized that you cannot do this. You are born with this average mind. You cannot do this. When a child is born, he is born fearless. And he is told million of times that you cannot do it. which bring that fear within him. As per scientists, a child is born with 100 billion neurons. Neurons are connected when you grow up. And the positive reinforcement connect your neurons into your mind. And the process is called neuroplasticity. The negative statement, don't let neurons to form in the brain. And this is what we do. We always tell kids, don't take commerce. Mathematics is hard. You cannot do it. Don't take science. You are not intelligent. Science के लिए बहुत पढ़ना पड़ता है. We always say, no, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. But can we replace you cannot do it to you can do it? Education is not about only learning what is there in the book. It's more about asking questions. The most powerful word in learning is not teaching. It is why. W-H-Y, why. Ask questions. Newton could have not discovered the gravity had he not asked, why did the apple fall? Why did the apple fall? And we always believe that why result is not coming, why this kid is not finding interest in studies. And the real question comes, whose responsibility it is? Is it of teachers? We parents say that we have enrolled our kid in a DPS, we are spending 20,000 rupees a month. It's the job of teacher. Teacher says no, it's a job of a parent. A kid spend more time at home, it's a job of a parent to take care of kid, to imbibe all the values, all the behaviors. And this poor kid, he goes like a tennis ball. Where to go? No one knows. So the real question, how can we build such institution wherein the creativity, wherein the curiosity are as common as a selfie, wherein the growth, asking questions, comes live, rather than having a complexity in a room, how we can make it more vibrant and more attractive. To the parents, I would like to say, trust the process. Trust the process. Time is not alike how you have been grown up. These kids, they're gonna teach you how to use that new smartphone. To the teachers, you are required to be a mentor, a guide, letting them ask questions rather than memorizing all the formulas. In life, there is nothing called right or wrong. It is only about lesson learned, what we learned from the life. And to the students, I want to say, ask questions. Nothing is wrong or right. Asking questions make you build that curiosity, make you be aware about something which is not in the textbook. And always remember, no matter where you would reach in your life, once you're into job or into corporate career, never be jealous, never be envy of others, that why I had not been able to have this job, why my friend is at a higher salary. Don't feel envy. Always believe in one thing, ना किसी से ईर्ष्या, ना किसी से होड़, मेरी अपनी मंजिल, मेरी अपनी दौड़. always believe that it's your life. You are required to take it further. There is nothing wrong, there is nothing right. What you are, what your institute has given you, that is something other people are not privileged enough to get. So with this note, I end my speech, and thank you very much.